You want to become the fittest version of you and lose more of this body fat, become more energized for your day-to-day life as a parent and in the workplace. This video is for you, okay? Because most people start the new year with a lot of motivation. This is the year you're going to finally break through, feel unstoppable, look your best, all good things, but we want to ensure you do it right, without burnout, without fad diets, without extremes that never stick. So this quick video is going to briefly outline what we call the proven Big Five framework, why your mornings hold the key to success, the truth about food quality, food choices, and how to protect your energy by cutting out what's draining you. Okay. So first off, something I call the Big Five framework. We install this with our clients at Caliber Fitness who had over 1,500 people drop at least 10 pounds in 90 days through implementing these simple steps. So what are they? Well, number one is what we call the cap control. That's your calorie and protein goal per day. As we know, you can't out-exercise the law of thermodynamics, which essentially says calories in, calories out. This is how many calories your body needs to maintain its weight, so we need to be slightly under that. So hit the link in the description below for a calculator that's going to set you up with the estimated calories and protein target you need per day to lose not only fat, but preserve muscle and tone, because that's half the battle, right? What most weight loss programs overlook is that weight loss and fat loss are two different things. To lose all this without that lean muscle tissue, you've got to do a few things, okay? And one of those is eating sufficient protein. Part two to this equation is your water intake. In Canada, we call it the 3L Club, 3 liters a day. That can include like non-sugary beverages, tea, coffee, etc. But trying to get enough hydration, because it's hard to change your situation if you're not drinking enough water. Number three, a hard one for adults over 40, kids and responsibilities, is to prioritize sleep. 7 to 8 hours of quality rest. Without that, you'll be snacky, you'll move less, your willpower will be drained, you'll just be grumpier in general. But you actually breathe out body fat while you sleep. It gets converted to carbon dioxide. So you want to prioritize that if you have any chance. Feeling more energized, certainly, but losing body fat in 2025. Number four is to lift things up and put them down, like a foundation of strength training. And it varies a little bit by men to women, but the basic essentials is progressive overload, trying to get stronger, adding reps over time, and doing enough volume. So that basically means you're training your arms for 8 sets a week, you're doing your back for 8 sets a week, maybe your legs are getting a bit more attention at 12 sets a week. You spread that out over, a couple, three, 4 workouts. Seems to be more than sufficient for the vast majority watching this. And lastly is to move intentionally. Get your steps in per day. The sweet spot we found for consistency is about that 8,000 steps per day. Upwards of 10,000 definitely make a difference, but there isn't necessarily a linear benefit to going beyond that. Your body will adapt pretty quickly. All right. So that's that for that part. Hopefully you can implement the Big Five and not lose sight of that as your priority, because that's going to make all the difference. The fads are secondary. Number two, though, is early AM movement and sunlight. Why is this? Well, starting your day with movement primes your body and mind for success, lowers stress and regulates cortisol levels, but natural sunlight exposure, it just syncs your circadian rhythm for better energy and sleep. I'm sure you've heard this all over the place nowadays, that early AM light in our eyes helps us actually fall asleep at the right time later in the day. And if you live in a winter climate like me, we've got these happy lights. I'm going to unplug it for you. Where is it? It's all wrapped up in here. Can you see this? Boom. Happy light. All right. So consider one of those, 10,000 lux. Early AM is if you sit down at the computer and the day hasn't really fully started, it's not bright out yet, consider one of those. Okay. Number three is the role of food quality. So what does this mean? Well, I liken it to the 80-20 rule, where you build about 80% of your diet around whole, nutritious foods, all the stuff you know is good for you. And then that 20% is what we call fun foods. Not cheap foods, not bad foods, just foods that are more processed, maybe taste a little better, but aren't supporting your goals necessarily, right? So what this means is you have protein-packed breakfast, certainly. Maybe that's eggs, maybe it's a protein smoothie, having some modest snacks in between. That might be Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, small amounts of mixed nuts, getting your greens and fruits in, okay? and you build your foundation around that. And then there should be a buffer, 20% buffer, either on the weekend or every night, frankly, to have a treat that feels like it's off plan, that doesn't derail your goals completely. Then lastly is to distance yourself, what I call energy vampires. So that's the vices, that's overeating, too much snacks, too much screen sucking, scrolling. That's a real challenge of mine, and a lack of boundaries. Okay. So you also have to consider people you surround yourself with. So if you're around someone and every time you leave those conversations, you feel drained, they pull you off track, or you're in a negative headspace, you may have to distance yourself from those relationships. So for me, limiting screen time in the evening, having a blocker on my phone of some kind that an hour before bed, I can't be tempted to do it. Set boundaries with friends or family who don't align with you or your fitness goals, and then try to not suppress, but swap. So replace those draining habits with positive ones, like say, instead of Netflix, you're going for a walk, or habit stack the two, right? Where you get on your bike and you watch an episode of your show and then you move on. Okay. So put those pieces in place. I promise you great results in 2025 when you set your foundation around the big 5 habits. You distance yourself from the energy vampires. You prioritize whole foods and quality nutrition 80% of the time. And then you get some movement and sunshine, even if it's artificial, in the first hour of the day. Talk soon.